I'm live, it says. I'm told. So I'm told. Oh, I'm supposed to put a light behind. I'm here a little early. It's 5:56 on my clock. So give me a minute. I'm going to turn on my extra light. There, now aren't I more professional? Okay. More and more professional every day, I must say. So I'm going to just sit here with my book, waiting for 6 o'clock to come. Do, 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 do. That's not exactly the tune because I don't want to have a copyright problem. I just made it up. Do, 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 do. What time is it? 5:57. Tick, tick, tick. This is my book, The Tao of Astrology. It's finally done. My God, it was like pulling hen's teeth, which is really hard since hens don't have teeth. And I was trying really hard to pull them. But I got it done. See, evidently I had put all of my images at 72 resolution, which I know better. I know better. I know Photoshop. I was trained in 1998 on Photoshop. So I was just being a dumbass. But you see, that's the 12th house nonsense. I'm a 12th houser. What do you know about that? All right, so we'll talk. That's what this day is for, is talking about the 12th house. We're almost there. 5:58. And I don't have any place to display my book. Here. Anyway, it's a good book. I did good. You will like it. It is smart. It is entertaining and interesting. Plus, it has my artwork. What have I got here? Jewel, stop being so lame. I'm just trying to be silly now. It's working. There's one. The bridge in Mingus Park. I have a lot of those. I think there's one right at the, here. This is Coquille. I miss Coquille. I lived right by the woods, and Batman and I used to go out on walks in the woods, adventures. It was fun. Okay, and then at the back, I have a little tarology diagram. So you see, there's a lot of fun stuff in here. 5:59, almost time to start. I should put the phone on. I should put it on, what do you call that? Okay, no. Where's the thing that does the stuff? There it is. Airplane mode, no phone interruptions. Thank you very much. Okay. 5:59, 5:59. Do 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 do. What time is it? 6 o'clock. Ding ding ding. Okay. Hello, everybody. My vast audience. Are you there? Are you there? My vast audience. I'm going to turn this gain up and see what happens. Is it going up any higher? Not really. I really don't know what I'm doing. I mean, technologically, I don't. Metaphysically, I have a pretty good idea of what I'm doing. But technologically, I'm adult. And I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Because one thing, a 12th house. Oh, did I tell you? 12th house lady. Do you know which house that is? Should I use my pointer? Whoa, 12th house, way up here. Yeah. Okay, so surrender, keyword, understanding and surrendering. It's like in the 12th house, one is always making trouble for oneself in a myriad of ways. It can be physical survival issues like money or food, and like lying on the street helplessly. Or it can be like stupid ideas that make you do wrong things. Or, I mean, it's just like not what, because when you don't want to surrender, because that's what it wants us to do in the 12th. Yeah, my chair won't go up high enough. Okay. They told me, everybody said, Jewell, just be yourself. Just be yourself. So I'm being my forking self. And I have a lot of silly. So, I would love to be one of those elegant ladies. Like Pam. Who's the British Pam astrologer? God, she's gorgeous. Oh, I so envy that. So much poise. So much gracious. But, I'm just like, and I just crack myself up. What can I say? I think I'm funny. All right. But I know stuff too. Because I'm not stupid. I'm silly. Difference. I surrender. What have I surrendered to in my life? I've surrendered to my own folly, which is a really big step for 12th house people. Like, there are several politicians and ex-presidents who are 12th housers. And I have to say, it's very interesting if you get into this stuff, because the 12th house is the last house in the cycle. And I'll tell you, the presidents who are lying to us, because they're lying to themselves, you see, because they really believe in their own bullshit. That is a problem, you see. I think for me, then my success and happiness, because I don't know how successful you think I am, but I think I'm very successful because I feel happy. I like my life just as it is. It's very nice that I can see, smell, taste, and touch things that are pleasing. And then when I encounter things that are not pleasing, that I can deal with it in a rational way. So you see, success is defined by oneself. We define our success. And when we let society tell us how to be successful and feel about our successes or failures, then we're not happy because it doesn't really fit. Now, I just wrote a whole thing about the soul, and the soul then is the whole package. And they always said, where is the soul? Where is it in your tummy? Is it in your left toe? Where is your soul? Does it live? And then, of course, in Modernia, we say, oh, the brain is everything. Our brain is everything. We're nothing without our brain, except now, guess what? The funny part is the science guys now have discovered that, well, wait a minute. They have people that are dead, they're brain dead, and for a long time, like minutes, long minutes, many minutes, like some like 20 minutes. And they come back. Wait a minute. You can't come back. You died and your machine is broken and broken forever. Oh no, I went away. I went through a veil. I was elsewhere. I was here, but not here, you see. And the science guys are all like, okay, well, I guess we don't quite get it. I'd love to make fun of science guys because I used to be one. I used to believe, I love believing. I just love it. I love to believe in things too. I love to drink Kool-Aid and jump on bandwagons. I'm so good at that. Oh, yeah, let's do this. I'm really into it. Because guess why? Because my boss of me, because my soul's main character in my Jewell Starsinger script, the play that my soul is living through in this iteration, is Mercury, Gemini's boss, the messenger, the trickster, the 12-year-old boy chasing frogs, eating his snot, making things, telling little fibs to get away with stuff, the trickster. That's the mind, you see. That's the analogy for the mind. So when the mind is in a different sign of the zodiac or a different house, because we're going to do houses, but we can, you see. So point being, when you have, now I lost my train of thought. God, because I'm a 12th houser and my little Mercury lives in the ocean. 12th house in the ocean. God, doing this weather girl thing backwards is really tricky. Yeah. So for people that have planets that are in that ocean house, the number 12, that's where the mystical stuff happens. And it's really hard to grasp the earth, to grasp the ideas that are very linear and targeted. I'm going to go in a straight line over there. But if you think about what it's like to be in the water, what happens when you shoot the arrow in the water? It goes pew, and then it goes pew, and it hits the water, pew, and then pew, and then you go, arr. Yeah, it doesn't go straight. The water deflects energy. Water diffuses energy. So all the feminine water houses, you see, those are places where the mental trickster is tricking itself. It's hard. It's hard to figure out where the straight line is. There isn't one in water. Think of the tide. It's like, ooh, very flowy, yeah? And the ocean, the currents are riptide. Ooh, I didn't expect that. So that's the surrender. Now, one time, this is 12th house I'm talking. I was in Mexico with my dear Robert. I miss him. He's dead. All my loved ones are dead. That's what happens. But I wasn't even old. But they say that's what happens as you get really old. Everybody's dead but you, and it makes you sad. I would imagine. But I have a lot of young friends, so maybe it won't be so sad for me. I don't know. I'm getting there. I was in the ocean with beloved Robert, and the waves, we were down at Rocky Point, because, from Tucson to Rocky Point, that's where we would go to be in the warm ocean, which was lovely, and I miss it. And so one day we were out there, and the waves were coming in hot and heavy. And of course, you know me, I like Venus and Aries. My little girl is wearing a warrior suit. And she likes to stab things and get them. And she doesn't attract nicely. She's like, I'll just get it. So I'm not polite. My Venus is not polite. Now, my Mercury is not only polite, but subservient, which is why I like to jump on bandwagons and believe in other people's bullshit. See how this works? It's like, who are you? Which character is doing which zodiac sign in which level playing field in the stage set of the play that's the theater of your life? Yeah. So the way that I make it easier for you is because I do the astrological alphabet, which was devised by Zipporah Dobbins when I was young. So probably 50 years ago, or 640 to 50, somewhere a long time ago. A lot of you weren't here yet. Anyway, so you just go 1 through 12, and you smush together the number, the planet, and the sign, and the house, so that you only have to remember those 12 steps. Now, in my book, the Tao of Astrology, I take the 12 steps and I fold them over on each other and give you 6. Okay, so that even makes it easier, because my brain is slow processing. When they say ADHD and autism, I have all the symptoms. I always have. And it's like, oh, okay, good. Now I've got more labels. Yay. But what I think is that people are just starting to become more self-aware. Well, plus there's a lot of toxic stuff that's making us have more acuteness. In other words, it may not be that it may be that the extremes that we're experiencing interpersonally, politically, and all that are from this process of pushing the edges. The abyss is on either side too. We're in the middle. Anyway, so I have condensed it to 6 things. And so I call each one a continuum. So the first and the 7th are across from each other on the round chart. You can see that here, right? So 1 and 7 are partners. They're across from each other. And 2 and 8 and 3 and 9. And that's how it goes around the chart. So that you really only have 6 things. Now, the 1-7 is Aries and Libra, the first house, 7th house. So in other words, number 1 initiates you into this life because that's your ascendant when you're born. And then number 7 is where you're initiated into society, into the bigger picture. So 1-7 is about initiation. It's about myself. So in the 1, in the Aries energy, it's I am me. And the 7, it's I'm with other. And I'm going to find out about me by knowing you. My experience with you is going to tell me about me, because ultimately we're always selfish. We always are. That's all we have. All you have is this container, this soul unit here. That's your container, and that's it. So if we're just trying to know ourselves, okay? So then you go to the 2nd and 8th houses. Let me get this. Will this help? I wish I could show you things, but I don't know how to do technology. So I have to go old school. All right, so here we go. Now I can't see what I'm showing you. Okay, right. So you look at the astrology wheel and the phooey doos. Yeah? All right. So you have 1st house, 2nd house. There we go. Anyway, come to Coos Bay Library Thursday at 4. We're going to do a class in person, just to remind you. All right, so here we go. 1st and 7th houses. Now, 2nd and 8th houses then, because you go 1 through 6 underneath, and then you go 7 through 12 around the top of the chart, of the round chart. And so number 2 and 8 represent accumulation. Because number 2 is ruled by what? Venus, Taurus, 2. Those are all the 2s. Number 8 is associated with what? Scorpio, Pluto, Mars. What am I leaving out? Scorpio, Pluto, Mars, and 8. Yeah, there you go. So, and 8 is called the house of debt. And 2 is called the house of wealth. So you see, they're both about accumulation. What are you getting? What are you losing? Gain and loss. It's about accumulation. Did you accumulate it in 2 and get rid of it in 8? Well, that's the cycle. That's the number 8 cycle, I think. What do you call that thing? On its side, infinity. The 3-9, then you go 1st house, 2nd house, 3rd house, and across from the 3rd on the top is the 9th house. Now that is about communication then. So in the 3rd house, that's my house, Gemini. Woohoo, little kid running around learning shit. Oh, I can't dub, so I have to say shirt. I'm learning shirt. And so this is a youthful energy of learning, always willing. Oh, I'm learning. And what's the next thing? And what's the next thing? Oh, that's interesting. Here, let me keep that tidbit. It's all about tidbits and parts because it's grade school. 9th house then is also, and they're both the same qualities. They're both masculine yang. The 2-8 that I just talked about, those across from one another, they are the same qualities. So they are both yin. The 1-7, the first continuum, and this is all in my book. I have all this in my book. The first continuum is yang. 1-7 is yang. 2-8 is yin. 3-9 is about communication. It's about the mind. So it's about the young mind when it's the 3, and across in the 9, it's about the educated mind. So number 3 is the mind being a tricky critter that will You think stuff, but maybe you're not right. But do you know? Are you going to trick somebody? It's the magician. It's making stuff up. It's saying, here, look over here. And then you do this little trick over here. And then the 9 is where you believe your own bullshit. You think you're so smart. You think it's a know-it-all. And what is the best? Number 9s are the ones that go into the world to gain experience. So then what they speak of is what they know, what they have experienced. So that's the 9. Then you move to 4. That's the bottom of the chart, the 4, and across from that is the very tippy top of the chart, and that's the 10. That's yin. Those are lady parts. Those are night brain stuff. And what they are is about protection. So the Cancer, the crab, the moon, that's all. I'm going to hold you. I'm going to put you in my body and grow you. I'm going to take the male seed and put it in me, and then I'm going to grow this thing, and then I'm going to protect it and feed it. It's a lot of busy work. And the opposite then is I'm going to take care of you in the world, and I will be respected for it too. I insist on that. So that's the 10. It's like, oh, I took care of you and I've done all this, and now please respect me for all of my efforts. All right. And then the 511 is about how you're presenting yourself. And I think it's about love. 5 is about romantic love. 11 is about agape. I love life. I love the world. I have these causes. Let's make it better. Utopia, blah, blah. That's all in the 11. And in the 5, it's all personal. It's like, you're my honey. I love you. Don't go anywhere. Yeah, right here. So you're going to risk 5 for 5, which is Leo, the sun, 5th house. You're going to risk the intimacy. In number 11, you're gambling with a bigger story. But it's always about invention in 11. And it's also about creation in 5. But in 5, it's like, I made this for my body. In 11, I created this. I invented this in my mind. Because the 11 is ruled by Uranus in modern terms. That's the god that makes all the ideas. But he is frustrated. Why? Uranus. Why is he frustrated? Because he doesn't have a body. He has to depend on his physical wife to manifest his ideas. And he is a frustrated God. He's angry. This is the angry God. But you see, all of these are gods, and they're all different. They all have different personalities, and they're all embodied in us, in your soul. So, where are all my friends who say they love me and they're not here? Okay, I don't care. I'm learning how to do this. Is my thing making sound? Do I have to do this very close to the mic? I have this stupid mic. I got it when I didn't know anything, but it's so low. I don't know. All right, so the houses then in astrology, and we're going to do this at the Coos Bay Library this Thursday. It's at 4, from 4 to 6. And I have made all these I've made this. I'll be able to print your chart, and we will look at the houses in your chart and your main character. So, we get the main character. For me, it's Mercury. For you, it could be the sun or it could be Venus. It just depends on what your rising sign is, what time of day you were born, and that sort of thing. But you can start anywhere. And that's the fun part, is that the rules in here in astrology are really about learning to navigate through these numbers. And so I tell all my students, let's navigate through 1 through 12 and understand what each one is. So the first house is Aries and Mars. It's the I am. It's the I do. I act. The second house is Taurus and Venus, and it's Earth, and it's the girly parts, and it's I have. This is what I have. Diamonds are my friends. I like gold and I like chocolate and I like comfort. That my favorite meme for that is these people put a little fat wiener dog on the floor with a beer can and a piece of cake, and the little fat wiener dog's lying down. It's really fat too. It's really cute, and that's Taurus. And I just have to laugh because my boss of me, my Mercury, is in Taurus, and I always like to say that I really don't have. I have some ambitions, but first I just would like to sit back and eat a few cookies and decide because it's all about taking your sweet time with that earthy Taurus sign. So number 3 is Gemini and Mercury, and it's air and it's masculine. It's the thinker talker. It's the 12-year-old boy. So it's the puer aeternus. It's Peter Pan. That's number 3. Number 4 is Cancer, the moon. It's water, it's the mother, and it's I nurture. I'm going to build you in my body. You are going to take from my body to make your body. That's what the mother does. And so if she could really be pissed at you if she's not a happy person. And she could say, that's the mother who's like, look what I've done for you, and you don't remember. So that's why we need to learn to understand ourselves better, so that we're not just resenting our role. Because if the actor doesn't like the role that he or she is playing, then the performance might not be so great. Does that make sense? Makes sense to me. All right. 5 is Leo, the sun. And it's fire and it's love. It's the heart chakra. It's the father. You've seen the pictures of the father tossing the baby up. That to me is the archetypal solar Apollo character. He is strong and he gave his energy. He gives his heart. That's what Leo does. And they have pride and they have the Leo and all that, the lion. But remember this, that the pride of the man is a delicate thing. And we have been stomping on our men for a couple of generations now. I was very guilty of that. I am so sorry when I see what so many feminists, misguided women like myself, for me, I just thought I was being hilarious when I said a woman needs a man like a fish needs a bicycle. Because that's not only is it hurtful, but it's just wrong. It was wrong because I needed a man. I needed, and the ones that I got that, like Robert, oh my God, I needed him. And then I lost him. I threw him away. Can you imagine that? So I'm just saying, understanding yourself is really important. And this is a wonderful, playful way to get there. Okay, number 6 is Virgo. Virgo is also Mercury, and it's air, and it's masculine. No, it's feminine, sorry, earth. And what Virgo does is, because Mercury is so good with the hands, it's the craftsman. So Virgo is the craftsman. I'm going to make stuff. I'm going to fix things. And I have Mars in Virgo. And I tell you what, I love crafting. I do. I make beautiful things. And I always have. It centers me. Also, organizing the silverware is very relaxing too. This is the home of OCD, by the way. Virgo is the home of OCD. And it's the 6th house. So it's right at the bottom. Which thumb do I use? I don't know. It's right before you get up to the top of the chart. So in other words, you go along the bottom from 1 to 6, and 6 is the last stage of personal development, because the chart is just all about the development of the soul. So in number 6, you've learned all this stuff about me and my stuff and my pals and what I learned and my mom and my dad. And now, number 6 space, I'm ready. I'm in preparation for adulting. And so what we do there is we learn our duties. We learn our chores. The sixth house is your chores. You do your chores so you can learn to be a decent citizen and play your part and do your part in society, in the world. Because number 7, you come up and there you are, the 1-7, you start again, you see. So the opposite of 6 then, the continuum of 6 is, yeah, you're not going to like this. Surrender. I know. We don't like surrender. It's so surrendery. But we're not in a culture that respects our surrenders. We're in a culture that tells us that that's weakness. We're in a culture that doesn't like the downtrodden. We don't see them we think they're lazy and weak. We think that surrender is bad and wrong, and we only want to win. Winning is good, losing is bad. The thing we need to recall on this issue is that surrender is feminine. And none of us feminists want to admit that surrender would be good for us. We're in a man's world, in a yang world. Everybody wants to go and get them and do it and be it. And what we don't understand and need to is that the feminine energy, if not understood, is poison. We're poisoning ourselves because we've let the yang out too much. We've let the winning and the mind and the thinking be the boss. That's the left brain, that's the day brain. And the day brain doesn't understand that there is a night brain. The day brain fears the dark. The sun doesn't want to go down. And the sun doesn't go down. We turn. The sun is always there shining. See how this goes? It's a little bit tricky. But in this modern culture where we have chosen to be go-getters, we don't realize what we've done to women and the earth and all the feminine qualities that surrender, that accept, that reflect. And God forbid someone should show you a reflection that you don't like, because you might have to look at yourself in a mirror and be grossed out. See how this works? This is not easy, but we have to be brave, and we need to learn more about this yin and yang pendulum and realize that it's swinging very wide right now, and that we need to let it calm down and come to it'll never stop. Don't worry. It's not going to stop. It can't. It doesn't. We have 2 gods. Here I go. This is my spiel. We have a yin and a yang. We have dark and light. They are so light and so dense that we can't, it's like, no, we don't get it. However, they come together. And here we are. We are as gods. It is our job as embodied souls, and the soul is the 2 into 1. It is the physical and the mental smushed together in a vortex, a blended drink. You will never see the apple or the orange again. Not here. But you will always be able to intuit the essence of apples and oranges within the drink. You see? All right. So I'm gonna stop here, and I'm gonna say I hope that I can bring more people in, and I will look at your houses and your charts. Also, we will look at the cards, because I love using the cards. They're very expressive. Here's your 12th house cards. Hanged Man, the Moon. Oh, what else did I put in here? Oh, the Queen of Cups. Yeah, the Queen of Cups is a good 12th house card. All right. So the point is the 12th house is a spiritual place. And you have to surrender. But see this guy, he's smiling. He's content. This is where the mental has gone into the physical without conditions. This guy is happy being surrendered because he understands that he's in a process. He understands where he is, and he understands that without this container, he couldn't be expressing this mental. Because the mind without a body is no thing, you see. Doesn't that make sense? Okay. All right. So I'll put the link in the bottom. My book is hardback is $50. I don't make much off of it. My royalties are not huge and I don't care. I just want it to be nice. And I'm going to do a paperback, which will be a little less. And I'm going to do an ebook. So I'm going to give you all the options. Not to mention the fact that if you subscribe and email me, I will send you a PDF free. Just saying. Under the caveat that please, if I send you a free PDF, will you please give me a nice little review or a shitty one? I don't care. I just need reviews on Amazon because that's what the KDP book tutors are telling me is that if I get reviews, then I get more, that pushes me algorithmically into the sky, which I need to be in the algorithmic clouds, please. So don't just whisper, tap all the buttons, please. And encourage me because I'm a sad old lady who needs to be liked. Oh, please like it. No, not really. But because, there's cookies for that. You don't have to get it from anybody else. All right. Anything else? Talk to me Thursday. Coos Bay Public Library, a full class on your houses with your own personal chart. And what else? Love you. I do this because I care hard. End stream.